Sports Professor Rick Horrow, Beyond the Scoreboard, the serious show that doesn't take itself too seriously. We are in the middle of getting ready for a lot of majors. Golf majors in a couple of weeks, French Open on the tennis courts in France in a couple of weeks, and we have Indy 500, the major of all open-wheel racing. We also have some pretty significant shockers out there. Biggest shock in sporting history, English Premier League side Leicester City won the league title. It may go down as the biggest. The Foxes, in their 130-year existence, the team was worried about avoiding regulation as early as a year ago. Now they're in line to make up to nearly $219 million as a result of the championship. The increased income will help close the massive budget gap between spending and their top-tier opponents. To put things in perspective, Manchester United spent more on new players in the past 2 years under their current management than Leicester City had in 132 years. Well, that's a shocker, but one of the things that is not a shocker are the discussions about the Oakland Raiders. Where are they going to go? They're not going to be in Oakland for much longer. San Francisco Chronicle editorial noted that residents loathe corporate welfare and are savvy enough to realize stadiums represent a poor return on investment for taxpayers. I don't really agree, but the fact that the papers are already behind it means that it might be easier for Mark Davis's statement that the Silver State might be the Silver and Black State, and he's looking for $1.5 billion stadium in Las Vegas that would be done whether an NFL team comes or not. In fact, UNLV and otherwise. Stay tuned, but this is a second chapter of a very long book. Big show today. The theme, Olympics, international sports betting, reinventing an old product, and the athlete-agent business, and couldn't be anybody better for any of this. Mark Locke, CEO, Genius Sports, Jeff Heckman, Director, New Product Development and Commerce Marketplace for Topps. Remember the old credit card company, they're doing a lot more. And David Falk, agent extraordinaire, Michael Jordan's longtime agent, now represents a number of NBA players in a whole bunch of different contexts. Interesting in what he has to say. Rick Horrow, sports professor, Beyond the Scoreboard. Be back in just a couple of minutes.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number.
Call 877-499-MY-TV.
The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So cancel the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money.
Call 877-499-MY-TV.
Right now to sign up for packages starting as low as $24.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $24.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card.
Call 877-499-MY-TV. That's 877-499-MY-TV.
Cancel the cable, cut costs, and get more.
Call now, 877-499-MY-TV. That's 877-499-MY-TV.
Rebuild or replace transmission, $3,200. Anti-lock brake system, $1,000. Rebuild or replace engine, $2,400. Truth is, once your manufacturer's warranty runs out, it's all on you. Every last cent. Get protection for covered repairs with a vehicle service contract from Toco Warranty. Unlike other companies, with Toco, there's no down payment, and the monthly payments are really affordable. Not sure how long you're keeping your car? At Toco, you can pay as you go. Keep your hard-earned cash and call Toco Warranty right now at 800-222-2313 to save big money on covered auto repairs. Prices vary by vehicle, but for about the cost of a tank of gas per month, a Toco plan has your back on expensive covered car repairs. Monthly payments are very affordable. Get your free quote now. Call Toco at 800-222-2313. That's 800-222-2313. 800-222-2313. Cancellation fee may apply. Subject to eligibility. Not available in Missouri and Washington. Waiting period and deductible apply. Coverage provided and administered by Warrantech Corporation or its affiliates. Not affiliated with any manufacturer or dealership. Visit TocoWarranty.com for complete terms and conditions.
Kid, this facility is like a ship. So how do I keep us on course without micromanaging every detail? Easy, with Grainger. Grainger's online tools help give me the visibility I need. I can shop, order, and manage all our activity. oversee purchases, control costs, all while you guys get to order what you need when you need it. I run a tight ship, kid. I run it with Grainger. Get it? Got it? Good. Learn more at Grainger.com/online purchasing. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
iHeartRadio loves music, so let's count the ways. Over 20 million songs from 800,000 artists, all free. And like Pandora, you can create your own custom station from any of those 800,000 artists. Just tell us an artist or even a song that you like, and we'll build a custom playlist for you. Add to that thousands of the best live radio stations, and you'll never have to worry about finding the perfect song for your commute, mood, or party. Millions of songs, thousands of stations, one free app. iHeartRadio is that easy. Download our iHeartRadio app today or listen online at iHeartRadio.com.
Sports professor Rick Horrow, Beyond the Scoreboard. Serious show, doesn't take itself too seriously, but how can we not in a $1 trillion sports business? 65 to 70% of it is international. And when we think about North American sports, it is important, but it is not the only business of sports that we clearly have. And we'll talk about that in a number of ways. Some of it Olympic-themed. Our first guest, Mark Locke, CEO of Genius Sports, a global leader in sports data technology and distribution services, innovative and data-driven solutions for sports media, regulated betting markets. Headquartered in London, 750 employees, 10 locations worldwide. Big protector of the integrity of sports. Here's Mark Locke. And we now effectively head across the pond for a lot of events. It's the summer where American xenophobia says we don't have any big sports across the pond. Oh, except if it's Premier League playoffs, except if it's Wimbledon. How about the French? How about the British Open? Oh, how about the Olympics this year? And so domestic sports clearly in a $1 trillion overall business. We've come up with a number that's about $450 billion. It's a large number, but obviously most of the commerce is impacted across the globe, and it's getting smaller and smaller as a globe every year. We have somebody that can give us a number of different perspectives: English Premier League, WTA, ATP, La Liga, NBA, and otherwise. Genius Sport and its CEO, Mark Locke. How are you?
Hi there, nice to meet you.
Good for you, and I'm glad we're here. You guys are a global leader in sports data technology, distribution, data-driven solutions to sports media, regulated betting markets. Obviously, the betting market issue, let's talk about it first, because that's one of those issues that American fantasy games, daily fantasy and otherwise, have a little bit of a concern with, but it is also incredibly fast-growing everywhere else. What is the future of, in your estimation, sports betting in the United States?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting question. Obviously, I'm asked a fair bit, but I mean, it's not really my place to sort of make a call or make a judgment about what the future of the gambling market in the US is. I mean, that's up to the American people to decide. It's up to the politicians to make that call. I think the key things that need to be considered, though, are the effects that the gambling market can have on sports, both positive in terms of improved fan engagement, a lot more interest in the sport and a lot more excitement and involvement, around it, money going back into grassroots as well as some of the sort of less obvious, maybe, risks to sport if they don't tackle them straight on. And that's what we at Genius Sports try and do, is focus sports in on some of the risks that they're exposed to and make sure that they're well placed to tackle any eventualities in that respect.
Give us an example of a few of those risks specifically, some of your clients, some of your solutions.
Yeah, sure, no worries. I mean, we work with a lot of sports internationally. And I mean, as you said in your very well put introduction to the business, we're a technology business that really focuses on data. So the way that we operate in one of our products, which is called Sport Integrity Monitor, is to really look at the international betting markets and look at movements in terms of lines and money movements and correlations around officials and games and play. And we look to analyze that and really try and understand the effect that some of these betting markets are having on the game, and whether those effects are, natural or just as a result of, genuinely innocent play, or whether there's something that might be more interesting to sports security, such as potential match fixing or issues around that. So one of the ways that we help sports is to engage with them and educate them as to what the risks can be. So that's our basic.
Yeah, interesting. Let's talk about that specifically, the integrity of sports, what those risks are, the product, education, service, and what do you do in that context for Major League Baseball, EPL, and others around the league specifically?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm not going to talk about the specific sports we work with and our specific relationships. It's a key part of what we do is making sure that we're confidential and that we work as closely with sports to help them protect their integrity. But I think some of the key examples are around just player education and official education. I mean, one example that we give often is that a player or an official, whether it's an umpire or whoever, is down the local bar having a beer. They run into somebody, get chatting, let slip that there's potentially an injury or something that's completely innocent. A couple of days later, they see the same guy in the bar. The guy comes up, hands him a few $100s and says, "Thanks very much for the inside information on the match or the game." And he said, "What do you mean the inside information?" "Well, you just helped me win a bet because you gave me something that was, you probably shouldn't have told me. So either you take the money and you keep feeding me results or keep feeding me information, or we're going to shop you for providing that information in the first place." So people can get duped into these events. It's not only, some of the hardcore fixing that goes on that you may think that, is about an outcome. It can be people who are innocently, effectively drafted into that event because they've not they don't have an understanding of the risks. So we sort of help on all those levels, both technology and education.
Protection, integrity, creativity, good examples. Again, can't be too specific, but you just struck deals with Spanish Soccer and La Liga, correct?
We have indeed entered into engagement with them, yes.
Yeah, good. Okay, well, obviously, another set of good examples of things that you're doing today. The interesting thing that Americans probably want to know, too, although this is international phenomenon and international shows, how about Leicester City? So we have a 5,000 to 1 against winning the EPL title. What does it say generally, and what do the UK bookmakers feel about it?
I mean, it's super exciting, isn't it, to see everyone loves an underdog, and an underdog of quite that level coming through and winning such a prestigious event is a huge thing. From a betting point of view, it's fantastic. I mean, the bookmakers, obviously they've got hit, and obviously there's they've lost substantial money in a lot of cases. But the reality is, it's great for the game. It brings in focus, at grassroots level. It makes the fans excited and engaged, and it really builds the profile of those events. And that goes all the way through the sport, not only to the people buying tickets at Leicester, but through to the broadcasters, through to the players, the umpires, the shops in the locale. It really does sort of encourage jobs, encourage sort of investment in sport. So, events like that, as much as they are very uncommon, as you said yourself, 5,000 to 1 is pretty unlikely. When they do happen, it's a fantastic thing for sport. It really does show that sports betting, if it's properly regulated and properly understood, can really support the development and the positioning of sport in a regulated market.
Well, and the good point, too, obviously, because of where you're from and what you're doing, the UK appears to lead the world in sport betting regulation, at least from a lot of different perspectives. What can the U.S. learn from the UK approach in this context?
Yeah, I mean, the UK's been doing it a long time, and it's obviously got a lot of experience. It's certainly not perfect. And as many of the architects of the actual legislation themselves will say, but it's good in that what the key message around that I think countries can learn when looking to regulate is around transparency. I mean, that's really what we're looking to do, and to make sure that all of the players, and we're not talking about necessarily the gamblers themselves, but also the operators, the suppliers, everyone involved in the industry is transparent, that they have appropriate probity, that they're well run, well regulated, that there's transparency all the way up, so that the integrity of the games can be protected, but also the players can be protected. It's a lot easier to protect a player and make sure that there's no underage gambling, make sure that there's no fraud going on, and make sure that people who, the very small number of people who need some help are helped. if there's transparency. You know, when the sports bettors are looking at operating in illegal markets with offshore operators who don't have that level of transparency and don't have that level of regulation, obviously the risks to them are much, much higher. With the US market being the way it's structured, with the sports so US focused and fabric of the way and the culture in the US, I think that the US can do a fantastic job when it does, if it does, choose to regulate.
Mark Locke tells us about globalization and how to protect the integrity of sports with a number of gambling issues and other issues attempting to affect how sports is perceived and, more important, the business of it. Rick Horrow, sports professor, be back in a minute.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for prescription drugs? Well, we have great news. Now you can finally get prescription drugs at huge discounts from Canada Drug Center. That's right, the most popular drugs for cholesterol, high blood pressure, depression, diabetes, arthritis, and many more are now up to 75% off. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices when you can get brand name drugs at the lowest price? Call today and get up to 75% off all the popular brand name prescription drugs. Never pay high prices again. Get the most popular drugs at huge savings from our Canadian and international pharmacies and fulfillment centers. No insurance? No problem. Prices are so low you do not need benefits or insurance to get all your prescriptions fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting to take your call now. Order today and get free shipping. Just call 800-950-1180. Up to 75% off all the popular brand name prescription drugs and free shipping. Call 800-950-1180. That's 800-950-1180.
Rebuild or replace transmission, $3,200. Anti-lock brake system, $1,000. Rebuild or replace engine, $2,400. Truth is, once your manufacturer's warranty runs out, it's all on you. Every last cent. Get protection for covered repairs with a vehicle service contract from Toco Warranty. Unlike other companies, with Toco, there's no down payment, and the monthly payments are really affordable. Not sure how long you're keeping your car? At Toco, you can pay as you go. Keep your hard-earned cash and call Toco Warranty right now at 800-222-2313 to save big money on covered auto repairs. Prices vary by vehicle, but for about the cost of a tank of gas per month, a Toco plan has your back on expensive covered car repairs. Monthly payments are very affordable. Get your free quote now. Call Toco at 800-222-2313. That's 800-222-2313. 800-222-2313. Cancellation fee may apply. Subject to eligibility. Not available in Missouri and Washington. Waiting period and deductible apply. Coverage provided and administered by Warrantech Corporation or its affiliates. Not affiliated with any manufacturer or dealership. Visit TocoWarranty.com for complete terms and conditions.
Tired of calls, levies, and liens from the IRS or hiring others who don't get the job done? Call Wall & Associates and you'll never talk to the IRS again. The IRS has a program to eliminate tax debt, and Wall & Associates professionals are trained to maximize its benefits for you. You always speak with a live person with real support and real knowledge. We've helped thousands of taxpayers like you settle their tax debt with the IRS for a fraction of what they owe. We solve tax problems. Call Wall & Associates now, 800-480-5708. We have the professionals who know how to solve tax problems. If you owe money to the IRS, your tax problems are not going away by themselves, and the passage of time will only make matters worse. Act now, before it's too late. Call Wall & Associates right now to speak to a professional tax relief agent. Call 800-480-5708. That's 800-480-5708. Again, 800-480-5708.
Rick Horrow, the sports professor beyond the scoreboard. You remember when we were kids, some of us more recent than others, and we would throw out the bubble gum because we wanted the trading cards? Well, Topps Chewing Gum Company and tobacco derivatives way back hundreds of years ago, by the way, and now Topps is all over the map. Jeff Heckman, Director of New Product Development and E-Commerce Marketplace for the Topps Company, did his undergrad at Virginia, MBA at Northwestern Kellogg School. Prior to Topps, he was at H.C. Johnson in Intersport, providing an innovation background for Topps in branding and strategic planning. Let's hear from Jeff Heckman.
Thanks for having me on, Rick.
Absolutely. So this is not your father's company, but you can realize that it was a company itself that was founded in 1938 and even before America Leaf Tobacco in 1890. So there is an old history of the trading card companies. So talk about it historically, and then give us the feeling of your obligation and where you think the legacy is working with such a great company like that.
Yeah, Topps, as you mentioned, one of the strongest attributes of Topps is our strong history and storied history. But it's years, 75 years being in the business, we've had the chance to chronicle not only sports but pop culture. If you think about it, we've been doing baseball cards since 1951. We've been doing football cards. We did football cards from 55 on, and then it's just pop culture. We were the first company to do Beatles trading cards before they even came over to the U.S. and really, became the phenomenon that Beatles mania was in the U.S. And then also, we did, all the big TV shows. So it's something that's really been going on and been a huge part of the Topps DNA since the start and really continued through from generations to generations. The great thing about it, well, it's not your father's Topps. It's something that we talk about consistently is, the different iterations and your father collected in his generation and now the new generation and constantly innovating and getting it up to where it is today and then, how Topps is perceived in the marketplace now.
You've had a real significant history in brand management, brand development, S.C. Johnson, Applebatch, others, obviously, you personally. But so coveting and evolving the brand, you look at, I guess, kids today, and they don't touch anything or feel anything that's cardboard or paper if they can avoid it, if they take a look at their iPhones and iPads and get everything that way. How much of that kind of mentality is a challenge to your future?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think, in the world we live in today, and I have a young son, it is very much about technology. It is very much about having something as far as reading, but also is an entertainment device as far as different content. So it definitely is a challenge for a company relevant in this day and age. Well, I think it's a great thing for society. I do think there is definitely a yearning to have, the nostalgia or things from our past that are still physical and tangible that you can touch and feel and, are something that is different than just having your phone. So the nice thing, you mentioned baseball cards, is there's people that have learned how to do math on baseball cards. I don't know how many people are still doing that nowadays. There's plenty of other tools you can use, but with the statistics on the back of baseball cards, there's a lot of people that really learned about addition, subtraction, division, multiplication through baseball cards. So, it certainly is a challenge, but I think with challenge comes opportunity, and I think that's some of the ways we've kind of taken the company. Now we have an entirely digital trading card app where you can consume and get digital trading cards, and the cards, have a little bit of a fantasy sports element to them where, you get points depending on how your players do on the field, and then, you can also trade and collect just like you could any other card, and it's really crazy to see the growth of that. That division's been about 3.5 years old and is just really having exponential growth, taking advantage a lot of the trend of people, consuming things in a digital content, and then it's even led into some of the merging that we've done with the digital and physical world, which is the Topps Now program.
So Jeffrey Heckman, new product development, e-commerce marketplace. So he sits in a room with his creative people, and you realize the kind of bedrock foundation of baseball cards. Everybody remembers top baseball cards. And then you get into discussion of how you stay ahead of the world, and then you realize that people come to you with ideas of the life story of John F. Kennedy years ago, but the Star Wars series and the Cabbage Patch Kid dolls stuff, and what's the tension between staying true to your brand and staying ahead of the curve?
Yeah, I think that's constantly a balance. It's really about, because we have such a heritage in the Topps brand, the good news about that is our collectors and the fans have come to expect certain things from Topps. So you can't just radically, go places or jump off the board without bringing and having people that have been supporters of your brands really buying in. So there's constantly the balancing act that's going on between creatively trying new things while staying true to your roots. So there's, there's a little bit of the yin and the yang, the right brain, left brain that are kind of, consistently communicating, clashing, however you want to characterize it, that come together to try and come out with what we think is the right kind of product and the right kind of message for the marketplace.
So I went to Northwestern undergrad, and you're obviously Northwestern grad. How does it feel to be the smartest guy in the room, and how do you deal with it?
Oh boy, the GM that hired me was a Northwestern guy as well. So fortunate for that regard. I wish that were true. Kellogg and Northwestern undergrad, both great institutions. So it's really prepared me really well for this role. And was having a conversation with one of my colleagues the other day. It really gives you the foundation, the fundamentals, and the building blocks for brand management, for marketing. Really fully understanding that. And the nice thing is, as you mentioned, that the other places I've worked, whether it's S.C. Johnson and you're talking about household cleaning supplies, or Topps and you're talking about trading cards or digital trading cards, the fundamentals are always in play, determining how you're going to build a product, who you're going to market it to, what your message is going to be, how you're positioning yourself and your brand in the marketplace. So it's been a good thing. It's definitely been good, and served me well here and throughout my career so far.
Yeah, me too. But the difference is, I think our age groups are a little bit different, which means when I was back there, we're everybody's homecoming team, and it taught me how to lose gracefully, I think, is one of the things.
That's true. The team now is quite different than it was.
Yeah, quite so. So. Give me an example, if you don't mind, Jeff Heckman, the product development and e-commerce marketplace guru at Topps. Ideas, you're always creative, you're always pushing the envelope, comic books, Topps, Pokemon, games, relationship with the Disney Channel. Give us the one big idea that didn't work.
That's a great question. I've been at the company for a little over 4 years, so through the course of the company, there's plenty of things. I mean, I guess one thing I can point to, and is probably decently well known in the industry, is a concept called e-Topps. And I probably won't fully explain all the intricacies of it, but the basic premises of e-Topps is it came to be when the dot-com boom happened, late 90s, early 2000. It was this idea of a stock market for trading cards. So you'd have an IPO, and it would be all managed through an online marketplace, and you would go and they would put out a card of, some player from a Major League Baseball team, and you'd have the ability to, buy this card while it was in the IPO state, and then after the period was over, you could, keep it within your digital collection, your marketplace, or you could take delivery of it. You could trade it through the online marketplace. So I think at the time it was a really innovative idea and something that, people, really gravitated towards because it kind of played on what was going on in the stock market and the internet at the time, and then trading card, it kind of melded them all together. It was at the time very, very successful for the first few years, and then I think over the course of time it sort of petered out. Again, I don't know all the reasons why it did, but I think part of it was at the end of the day, there are people that still do want tangible trading cards. So the idea of trading with your friends, of buying it on eBay and taking physical delivery, that's still very powerful in our industry. So kind of managing it all in an online marketplace like trading cards, maybe it just didn't get the penetration that, some of the other trading cards have gotten. But I think that's, one that's relatively recent throughout the course of time. I mean, the fun thing about working at Topps is you see all these test products, and you name it, we did it, whether it was things that looked like coins, stamps, rub-off tattoos, all sorts of stuff. And we would do test markets in small markets like, this was only available in Michigan. There's a famous 1975 Topps mini set, and it was only released in Michigan. And it's one of the most highly valuable, sought-over sets in the industry these days. It has George Brett's rookie card and all sorts of stuff, but it was never rolled out to regular marketplace. So I think that the DNA has always been about testing, figuring out what works, and then test small, fail small, and then on to the next thing.
Final question we got, which is kind of interesting. What does the company look like and the industry look like, let's say, 10 years from now?
I think there's two trends that will happen over the course of the next 10 years, and then hopefully Topps can stay on top of them. I think things will continue to move towards being digital and being, right now it's, apps. I don't know what the next generation of apps will be, but I do think there will be some sort of a digital trading card game element that will continue to grow and proliferate in this industry. The other thing will be about how can you be current? How can you capture what's going on the playing field, what's going on in the political arena, what's going on in pop culture and entertainment? How can you capture that in a physical product and get it to me tomorrow? Companies like Amazon are delivering things within the hour. Right now we're doing something called Topps Now, which turns things around in 24 hours. I think it'll probably be maybe 24 seconds. I think it will be, but in a physical product. So how do you take print on demand? How do you take 3D modeling? How do you take that and get somebody a tangible product and in a customized way?
Will you think of Topps? You have a whole new perspective now. Trading card business certainly won't be the same. Back with agent extraordinaire David Falk in just a minute. Rick Horrow, Beyond the Scoreboard.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number.
Call 877-499-MY-TV.
The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So cancel the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money.
Call 877-499-MY-TV.
Right now to sign up for packages starting as low as $24.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $24.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card.
Call 877-499-MY-TV. That's 877-499-MY-TV.
Cancel the cable, cut costs, and get more.
Call now, 877-499-MY-TV. That's 877-499-MY-TV.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 877-663-7126 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 877-663-7126 to take your call now. Call 877-663-7126. That's 877-663-7126. Again, 877-663-7126.
Rebuild or replace transmission, $3,200. Anti-lock brake system, $1,000. Rebuild or replace engine, $2,400. Truth is, once your manufacturer's warranty runs out, it's all on you. Every last cent. Get protection for covered repairs with a vehicle service contract from Toco Warranty. Unlike other companies, with Toco, there's no down payment, and the monthly payments are really affordable. Not sure how long you're keeping your car? At Toco, you can pay as you go. Keep your hard-earned cash and call Toco Warranty right now at 800-222-2313 to save big money on covered auto repairs. Prices vary by vehicle, but for about the cost of a tank of gas per month, a Toco plan has your back on expensive covered car repairs. Monthly payments are very affordable. Get your free quote now. Call Toco at 800-222-2313. That's 800-222-2313. 800-222-2313. Cancellation fee may apply. Subject to eligibility. Not available in Missouri and Washington. Waiting period and deductible apply. Coverage provided and administered by Warrantech Corporation or its affiliates. Not affiliated with any manufacturer or dealership. Visit TocoWarranty.com for complete terms and conditions.
Sports Professor Rick Horrow, Beyond the Scoreboard, the business of sports, $1 trillion all told, on the backs of some tremendous performers extraordinaire, the Babe Ruths of our business, the Cal Ripkens, and clearly the Michael Jordans. And because of the Michael Jordans, how about the people that represent him? Well, David Falk is Michael Jordan's longtime agent, business advisor, and friend. Jordan now owns the Hornets, eliminated in the first round of the NBA playoffs this year. But the business of Michael Jordan, really significant as well. But besides Michael Jordan, David Falk represented more than 100 other NBA players and is generally considered to be the most influential player agent the NBA has ever seen. Also, a really good friend, David Falk.
Thank you for being here.
That's a very kind introduction.
So, currently, morphing from one of the biggest agencies in the world to where you are today, what are the differences? What's the changes? What exactly are you doing on the agency side?
Although I've always sort of been a little bit of a contrarian in business. And I had a small company called Fame. We had 24 employees and 40 clients. I sold it in 1998 to SFX, and within 2 years, we had 900 employees and 1,100 clients. And they turned around and sold SFX to Clear Channel. And I really didn't enjoy the sort of the large New York Exchange, corporate culture. So I sort of went on my own. In 2007, I relaunched Fame when Clear Channel got out of the business as Live Nation. And I decided to be an ultra boutique. So in all the other entertainment companies like Lagardère and Wasserman and CAA and William Morris were gobbling up agencies and forming these enormous conglomerates, I decided I'd go the other way and be a boutique. And for me, it's been really fun because I have no personal issues. I have no ego issues. I have one partner, is a woman named Danielle Cantor, been with me for 15 years. It's great working with women. I have my personal assistant, Mary Ellen Nunes. And I'm watching all these mega agencies with enormous levels of overhead. They're cutting fees. They're providing marketing guarantees to the clients. It's like an intergalactic battle. And I'm just like on the sidelines sort of watching. And I'm enjoying, at this point in my life, it's more like being a teacher than being a deal maker. The deals have become very mechanical. As you know, Rick, in the collective bargaining agreement, 70% of all the contracts in basketball now are predetermined. Yeah. You have wage scales for the rookies, you have maximums for the superstars, you have minimums for the low-level players, and a few salary cap exceptions, mid-level exceptions. 70% of the deals are precast. I could probably play golf every day and make the deals between putts. And so what I've come to enjoy the most is trying to be a mentor to young players, trying to teach them how to make, prudent business decisions, how to plan for life after basketball, how to deal with the media, which has become a preponderant issue. And that's very rewarding for me.
It's also 28 hours a day. That's not possible. The job description you just said is imponderable, except for maybe one or two people, certainly David Falk. And most of the people out who talk about the industry the way you did are now out of the industry, not bitter, they're just out. What you've done now twice is parlay it into a better place, at least for you.
I'm trying to evolve. I mean, as you get older, you have different priorities. Right. I think I have a skill set and a level of experience I don't want to just walk away from. And at the same time, I don't want to try to be who I was 20 years ago. People say, God, why don't you sign more clients? It's because I don't want to. I want to enjoy the relationships. I have came up here last night and had dinner with Evan Turner on the Celtics. Tonight I'm going to have dinner with Jared Sullinger after the game.
He's got a game tonight. You better be careful.
Absolutely.
Okay.
After the game. And I really enjoy it. I enjoy spending the time with the young players.
Yeah. And you're unencumbered relative to, you've always spoken your mind. But now you can speak your mind and everybody understands. It's the advice that's 30, 40 years of experience in business. Probably not the right question. The one thing you could change in the agency business, maybe it's more than that. What's wrong with the agency business today, and how would you change it?
Well, I think that, first of all, it's not sufficiently regulated. And while everyone's complaining about too much government regulation, I'm not suggesting the government regulated. The players' unions are supposed to regulate it. It's way too easy to get into. They don't discipline the people for blatantly violating the rules. We have a conflict of interest rule, which prohibits agents from representing management people. Right. So, for example, when Michael Jordan became an owner of the Wizards, I had like a Spanish Inquisition, 1,000-page report. I own a piece of the Wizards in the Cayman Islands or in the Isle of Man. I said, no, there's a rule. I'm honoring the rule. Very few people honor the rule. And so you have situations where some of these large agencies represent players on the team, managers on the team, general managers, coaches, and sometimes do the naming rights for the team. Now, that's a blatant conflict. Now, I'm not angry about that from a competitive standpoint because I'm not trying to sign a lot of players. But I think that the one unassailable fact is that in sports like football and basketball, where you have a salary capped environment and the owners and the players share the revenues in a fixed percentage relationship, basketball is 50-50. Only way the players are going to make more money is to make the business better and grow the pie. And when you have these kinds of conflicts, all they do is retard the growth of the business. So if I could change one thing, I would want to clean up the business. I think it's gotten very corrupted. And I said it with no rancor or no competitive, that I can't compete. I'm competing on the level that I want to compete at. If I wanted to be bigger, I could sell to a large company.
But the flip side of a corrupted business is that the athletes who are in most need of representation probably aren't getting what they need. All of the bankruptcy stories we see, the horribles, whose responsibility is that to make sure that these athletes mind their money and have enough to be comfortable?
Well, I think, in large part, it's the athlete's responsibility, but they need help because they're not sophisticated. And I think that the way it works is that in any industry where you have a union, the union obligation is to negotiate the terms of wages, hours, and working conditions. So in basketball and football, baseball, the union in theory could negotiate all the player contracts, but they sublicense that right to the agents. And I think that the union has to do a far better job of controlling and managing the people that they're licensing. And when they break the rules, they should be severely punished because the clientele in the union is the one who ultimately suffers, the players.
Is there an opportunity to clean up the agency business today, or is it so? Are the monoliths basically running the institution so it's not possible?
No,
and who does it?
I think it's very possible. I think that it has to become a priority. It hasn't been a priority, and I think you have to have an enforcement staff. Yeah. When people break the rules, then they have to be disciplined, and an example's got to be made.
Michael Jordan, great friend. Everybody associates you with Michael Jordan. Obviously, one of many clients. Good owner. How's he evolved? What was it like to work with him and be a friend?
Well, Michael's a very astute businessman, and he hasn't enjoyed the level of success as an owner that I think he'd like to. I think he inherited a difficult situation when he first bought the team from Bob Johnson, who is himself a tremendously successful businessman, but wasn't very popular in North Carolina. The team's a playoff team. They're the 6th seed right now, which is terrific. It's hard in the small markets, I think, to compete economically with the larger markets. But he bought the team for a very small sum, and it's worth $1 billion. So I think you could say he's done quite well as an owner in Charlotte.
You could probably be viewed. You're viewed as a lot of things, but you could probably be viewed as the author of a sustaining brand of excellence that may transcend the retirement of a particular basketball player. It's not just Michael, but the idea of developing an image of a celebrity that is able to transcend. Easy to do? Did you read a textbook? I mean, how did that evolve?
That's a great question, Rick. I never took a course in marketing. Never thought when I was in law school that I'd be making movies or doing licensing. And it's something I think I have a creative side I really enjoy. And I think because the first 10 years of my career when I was at ProServe, while I was doing basketball and football, I also was like the junior agent for people like Arthur Ashe and Stan Smith. I was the lead agent for Gene Mayer, who's the 4th-ranked player in the world. And when you watch the tennis players and the golfers who have their own line of shoes, apparel, golf clubs, and you say, like, why can't a superstar athlete like a Michael Jordan, a Magic Johnson, a Tom Brady, a Peyton Manning, why are they different? And so with Michael, who set the stage on the Olympics in Los Angeles in 1984 and then came into the NBA, I would say we try to do that, but we had some ideas about how to separate him out. He was just not another Chicago Bull. He was the Chicago Bull. And the team, early days, they used to call Michael and the Jordanaires because they were very fungible guys around.
Did you create that name?
I didn't.
Yeah, that sounds like a Faucus. It really does. Yeah. Long-term power in the sports industry, 5 years from now, does it rest with the Nike/Under Armour/Adidas folks? Is it the television folks? Is it some of the big corporate guys? Used to be agents, not as much now, or maybe. Where does it rest?
I mean, I think those are all buckets of power, if you will. They're all tranches of power. I think, obviously, media drives professional sports. Yeah. The fact that the basketball salaries are going to double over about a 3 or 4 period because of the influx of new television money. Clearly, the shoe companies, Nike's been a 21st century success story. There are very few companies in America that have been as successful as Nike since the early 70s. It's an $85 billion company. The Jordan brand alone is over $3 billion, which is incredible. I mean, in 1984, when we signed Michael, Nike's goal was to sell $3 million worth of product by 1988. And year one, they sold $130 million. So it's been phenomenally successful. But I think that the large consumer products companies like the Gatorades and the McDonald's and that support professional sports have wielded an enormous level of power. Anheuser-Busch, clearly, the media companies, ESPN, another tremendous success story. ABC, the family wields tremendous power. I don't think agents have a high level of power. I think certainly not as much as perhaps they think they do.
Since you phased down, it's a direct relationship to since you phased down, right?
Yeah, I mean, the competition is it's. I think that the rules have homogenized the importance of agents, and I'm not sure that is unintentional. I'm not sure the unions haven't done that unintentionally, and I think that's why it's become corrupted. I think when you take a product and you make it difficult to differentiate it from other products, almost like soap, and everyone's selling basically the same thing. I think the only way most of the agents could differentiate themselves today is by the inducements they offer the players. They can hire their brothers and sisters or their parents. They're going to lower the fees. Are they going to pay the money, guarantee the levels of marketing? And that they're almost driving themselves out of business. That's why when I sit back and watch, and I respect most of these large companies. They're tremendous, successful companies. But I just think the overhead is so enormous and fragile that if they reduce, like in football, for example, if the union reduces the fees from 3 to 2, it's a 33% reduction. I don't know how some of these companies are going to survive.
And that's the margins. David Falk, the businessman, incredibly successful. What's the one trait that has helped you reach that success? Consensus building, bird doggedness, tenacity, outthinking people. What's the one?
You know, I think I've always had a good ability to sort of forecast where the market's going.
Yeah.
You know, as a lawyer, you're trained to look at the past, at precedent, to understand what's going to happen.
And you're not necessarily trained to be a good business person. I mean, that's one of the problems.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think that I've always had a good, maybe a stubbornness that I didn't want to rely on other people and say, hey, these are what these people are doing. That's what I want to do. I wanted to chart my own course.
You're not riding off in any sunset. How's your golf game?
My golf game is good. I'm down to an 8.
Okay. Is it a real 8 or is it agent 8?
No, it's a real 8. I don't play as much as I used to, but maybe I'm a little more relaxed about it.
You are an inspiration, everybody. Thank you very much, David Falk.
Enjoy it.
Thanks.
David Falk has a lot to say about Michael Jordan and the future business of sports and agency in general. He's certainly worth listening to. Rick Horrow, be back with Bust, Boom, and Hope in just a minute.
We all know healthcare has changed drastically. It's quite the puzzle to sort through your options and find a health insurance plan that's affordable and maximizes your benefits. And you're now required by law to have health insurance or you may pay a tax penalty. So let the Health Markets Insurance Agency help you. They offer plans from over 120 different companies and can even help you obtain government subsidies. Let them do all the research for you and show you how affordable health insurance can be, a service that's at no extra cost to you. Call now and learn your options to find affordable health insurance. 800-614-1242. 800-614-1242. 800-614-1242. 800-614-1242. Health Markets Insurance Agency is a DBA or assumed name of Insphere Insurance Solutions, Inc., which is a licensed insurance agency in all 50 states and D.C. Not all agents are licensed to sell all products. Service availability varies by state.
Attention, if you've had hip replacement surgery and suffered any complications, you need to listen to this important legal alert. Major manufacturers have made billions of dollars available to award legal claims for defective hip implants. Thousands of these defective hip implants have been recalled by various manufacturers. If you've had hip surgery and suffered complications, you may be entitled to receive significant compensation to help you deal with your complications. You may be eligible to receive money to help with medical expenses, lost wages, and pain and suffering. Protect yourself by hiring an experienced trial attorney. Our partner law firms are experts in hip replacement surgery lawsuits. Find out now if you're eligible to receive any of the $2.5 billion hip settlement fund. Call now for free information. 800-296-1360. 800-296-1360. 800-296-1360. That's 800-296-1360.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 877-663-7126 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 877-663-7126 to take your call now. Call 877-663-7126. That's 877-663-7126. Again, 877-663-7126.
Sports professor Rick Horrow, Beyond the Scoreboard, the serious show that doesn't take itself too seriously in a trillion-dollar business of sports that's growing exponentially every day. And it's time for our weekly visit with the bad, the good, and the hopeful in the economy in a segment we call Bust, Boom, and Hope. First, bust. After an ongoing dispute with the city of Santa Clara over rent payments at Levi's Stadium, the Niners have filed for arbitration. They want to lower their annual rent of the stadium from $24.5 million down to about $20, citing substantially greater revenue than originally anticipated to validate their argument. Santa Clara officials intend on keeping it at $24.5. 49ers president Al Guido said the 40-year lease includes a rent reset, which means the terms can be changed based on operating costs, revenue, and outstanding debt. He also said the team believes the $19 million would have been fair, but in an attempt to accommodate city leaders, they tacked on an additional $1.5. The venue itself cost Santa Clara less than $136 million to build, and the city reaping benefits beyond anything expected, especially with Super Bowl 50 having been held there this past year. Boom! Beach volleyball finally received its validation it deserves after years of being overshadowed. This past weekend in Gulf Shores, Alabama, marked the first ever NCAA Beach Volleyball National Championship. 7 years ago, back in 2009, the NCAA officially labeled beach volleyball an emerging sport. The double elimination tournament, composed of 8 teams, 3 from the Pac-12, 1 each from the ACC, Atlantic Sun, Big West, WAC, WCC, and Sun Belt. It took place over 3 days. Finally, hope. After retiring the chief Illiniwek nearly a decade ago, University of Illinois now on the hunt for their first ever athletic mascot. University chancellor approved the formation of a committee to begin the search for a new mascot, and the Illinois students and faculty and NCAA pressured them in 2007 to remove the chief, saying it was a racist symbol. Now, the university pushing to find something, quote, embodying the values and traditions of the campus. We hope they find it. That's our show today, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to thank Mark Locke of Genius Sports, Jeff Heckman of Topps, and David Falk, Agent Extraordinaire, for being with us. And won't you join us next week when once again we go Beyond the Scoreboard.